This is the Fox 5 News Block.
1 week away from Election Day, the candidates making their final pushes to voters as the race for the White House enters its final days. And it's do or die for the Yankees tonight, a critical game. The Game 4 ahead for the Bronx Bombers, how fans are reacting today. And good afternoon, I'm Sharon Crowley. Welcome to the News Block on this Tuesday. We'll have more on those stories in just a bit. But first, we begin with breaking news from the entertainment world. After a battle with multiple sclerosis and other health problems, comedy actress Terry Garr has died. She co-starred in Young Frankenstein, Mr. Mom, and Tootsie, as well as numerous TV shows, including Star Trek and Dr. Kildare. Earlier in her career, Garr was also featured in the chorus of 9 Elvis Presley movies. Her publicist said she died surrounded by friends and family. She was just 79. And now we're going to take a live look outside. Audrey Prente here now with more on the forecast. Audrey.
Hi, Sharon. Well, a look from that sky cam shot shows that we do have a mixed sky outside. Lots of clouds are in place, but the sun has been breaking through from time to time. Temperatures right now are mostly in the 50s off to the north, like in White Plains, Bridgeport, as well as over towards Poughkeepsie. We're at 62 currently in Central Park with 63 recording in Belmar at the moment. All of these temperatures running a little bit warmer than they were at this time yesterday, and we're in store for an afternoon with high temperatures higher than what we experienced yesterday. Winds are a little breezy at times. They will be gusting to about 20 miles per hour as we progress through the afternoon, and they'll be shifting from the southwest too as we go into tomorrow, allowing for even warmer air to come into the region. But before that happens, we're tracking some showers on the radar. Right now, it's just a mix of sun and clouds across the region, and we've had a couple of sprinkles rolling through. But off towards our northwest, coming off the Great Lakes, we have a swath of rain that's working its way eastward here. It will come downstate just a little bit here, so it will clip portions of the Hudson Valley, like in Sullivan, Ulster, and Dutchess counties. But some of these showers could creep as far south as Rockland and Westchester, maybe even into the Bronx or northern Manhattan as we go into the dinner time hour. So we'll be watching for that as we go through the next few hours. Now, if you're heading out to Yankee Stadium where they have the World Series tonight, there is the threat of a shower at the start of the game, but it'll be a quick moving one. The game should remain pretty dry as temperatures stay steadily at about 60 degrees throughout the evening. And as we look ahead, we're expecting a change in wind direction again, as I mentioned, so that's going to help bump up our temperatures as we go into the next couple of days. We're expecting to get close to 80 degrees just in time for the Halloween holiday, and there will be a threat of rain at the end of the week. I'll have the details coming up. Sharon?
All right, I look forward to it, Audrey. Well, tonight, Game 4 of the World Series, of course, between the New York Yankees and the LA Dodgers. It's, of course, make or break for the Bronx Bombers. They've already lost, as we know, the first 3 games, and tonight is Game 4. If they lose, they've lost the series. Of course, fans, though, are staying hopeful.
I'm not nervous. I got scared. Because
he's like, I'm not nervous, I'm scared. You're scared. Why are you scared?
It's almost a little too much difficult for win tonight because it's 3-0. It's very difficult. That's happened. But God, please, win tonight. I don't want to cry.
Don't cry. All right. Remember, Fox 5 is your home for the World Series. We are ready for Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. Coverage begins tonight at 6:30 right here on Fox 5. Well, with the election just 1 week away, both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are doing their best to secure their place in the Oval Office. Trump held a press conference at Mar-a-Lago this morning, and later today he's going to be campaigning in that all-important swing state of Pennsylvania. Tonight, Vice President Harris will deliver her closing arguments to voters in Washington, D.C. at the Ellipse between the White House and the National Mall, and that's, of course, where Trump delivered remarks just before the January 6th Capitol riots. Now, the race remains extremely close. A new poll says more than 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots in early voting. A poll just released by Emerson College just days ago shows that Harris and Trump are tied 49% with a margin of error of just 3 percentage points, so super close. Leading up to Election Day, we are going to be highlighting some of the big races that will appear on the ballot across New York State. One that everybody's going to be voting in is the race for the Senate seat currently held by Democrat Kirsten Gillibrand, and she is facing a challenge from Republican Mike Sapercone. Fox 5 Morgan McKay spoke to both candidates and has a closer look at their positions.
U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has been in office for 15 years and rose to national prominence for her work in passing legislation that combats sexual harassment, her bill to improve the handling of sexual assault cases in the military, and her role in repealing the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy that barred openly gay men and women from serving in the military. And although she says she might not be as well known as her counterpart, U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, she emphasized that she has consistently delivered for New Yorkers.
I think I can keep making a difference, and I'm uniquely bipartisan and effective in passing laws and helping New York. I'm also pretty good at getting money into our state.
Gillibrand's opponent is Mike Sapercone, a retired police detective who was raised in Queens. Sapercone served in the NYPD for 20 years and started Squad Security to provide security services to New York-based companies. Sapercone says he strongly supports term limits and accused Gillibrand of being absent from her job once she withdrew from the presidential race in 2019.
I think she's kind of asleep at the wheel. Now, if you would have put my opponent in a lineup, you couldn't pick her out. Most people can't pick her out.
One of the top issues in this election cycle is the economy. Gillibrand listed bills that she has passed through Congress that have helped bring down costs and increase domestic manufacturing, like the CHIPS Act. She's also working on a few bills with her Republican colleagues in the House that would create more oversight on how money is being spent on public housing to increase its quality. She also says she wants to re-implement the child tax credit, restore the state and local tax deductions, and invest in technologies to help the U.S. become more energy independent.
People aren't happy. I'm not happy. Everything's more expensive. Made in America policies are really important. Our investment in manufacturing is key.
On cost of living, Sapercone is in agreement on restoring state and local tax deductions, but says the Biden-Harris administration has done nothing to stop price gouging, and says that is something he hopes former President Donald Trump will do if elected. Additionally, Sapercone wants to put a stop to congestion pricing and do a review of costs on the federal level.
We need to start reviewing what we're spending. We don't do that anymore. We just print money, and we're not sitting down and talking about it. I had a business. I run a family. You need to be fiscally responsible.
Immigration is another top issue, with more than 200,000 migrants arriving in New York City in just 2 years. Gillibrand pointed at Republicans in the House, saying they killed a bipartisan border deal, but she says she will continue to work on trying to increase the number of legal visas and have migrants apply for them at their country of origin, as well as expedite work visas for those already here.
We have jobs open on our farms, in our restaurants, in our hotels, in our hospitals. All across the state, we have open jobs that we are desperate to fill. And a lot of these people come with some skills that could be used.
Sapercone says the migrant crisis is out of control, and he would be pushing to have the federal government shut down the border with a zero tolerance on those who cross illegally. He says the Senate's bipartisan border deal was poorly written, and he would not have voted for it.
It's a terrible deal. You would allow 5,000 people a day. I think I said earlier, it has to be zero tolerance because we have no plan. You got to shut down the border, clean up our act, and make some big boy decisions.
We asked Sapercone how he wants voters to remember him when they head to the polls.
I'm like the cop, but I'm a common sense person. I'm a business person. We live in such a great state with such a great platform. It's important that we live up to those expectations as the United States Senator for the state of New York.
We asked Gillibrand the same question.
I fight for them every day, and that I care deeply about them feeling safe in their community and that they feel that they can raise their children and provide for their families. That's what I focus on.
Well, tonight on the 5 o'clock news, Morgan will be back with her profile on Mondaire Jones and Mike Lawler, who are both running for Congress in New York's 17th district. That area includes Rockland County, Putnam County, and parts of Westchester and Dutchess counties. Well, schools remain closed for the day after a deadly shooting in Putnam County. State police have this man in custody. His name, Fernando Jimenez. Officials shutting down classes after an extensive manhunt there. They say 3 people were shot at a home in Somers, New York. 1 person is dead. 2 are in the hospital recovering right now. Again, schools will remain closed for the remainder of the day. Well, family members of Jordan Neely, along with Black Lives Matter, demonstrating outside a Manhattan courtroom this morning over reports that Daniel Penny hired the same jury expert that worked with Kyle Rittenhouse. Daniel Penny has reportedly hired Jo Ellen Demetrius. She's the same jury selection expert that was hired by Kyle Rittenhouse, who was acquitted of murder charges for a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin in 2020, claiming that he acted at that time in self-defense. Black Lives Matter say they are appalled by the reports.
And he is using a legal team, an expert that specializes in defending white supremacists. I think everybody in New York City should pay special and close attention to this case because it sends a message.
It does.
It sends a message to everyone across the world that if black people are too loud, if black people scare you, then you can kill them.
Well, Black Lives Matter says this case is all about race because Penny would not have killed Neely, they say, if he was white. Well, the FDNY is taking a closer look at the dangers posed by lithium ion batteries. A two-day symposium kicked off this morning at the Fire Academy on Randall's Island. Members of the FDNY are sharing what they have learned about these batteries with state and federal officials. They're also working with the Department of Homeland Security to study the safety risks. So far, there have been 227 fires in the city, and they've been caused by lithium ion batteries. 5 New Yorkers have been killed.
The FDNY has been leading the charge on lithium-ion battery enforcement, education, and we're bringing people together to collaborate and to learn best practices from us, but we're also here to listen.
Well, fire officials say electric mobility devices should be stored outside and charged also outside if possible. All right, time for a final check on the forecast. Audrey, it's so warm out.
It is getting milder, and each and every day we're going to get a little bit warmer, Sharon. We do have a mix of sun and clouds outside right now, and there is some rain that will be passing off to our north. So roughly around dinner time, there will be the threat of a few showers, especially in areas around Westchester, Rockland County, heading up towards Putnam County, too. We could clip the Bronx as well as portions of Connecticut and the east end of Long Island, but things should be much drier after midnight, and tomorrow we'll wake up with sunshine across the tri-state area. A change in wind direction from the southwest will help bump up our temperatures, so it will be quite warm tomorrow. Same thing for Thursday, and you can see we'll stay rain-free until possibly Friday morning. That's when another front will start to work its way in here from the west, and that could produce a couple of showers by then. So in the meantime, today we're going with mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun. High temperatures in the 60s. Tonight we drop back into the 40s and 50s across the region, and then tomorrow's highs will be in the 70s. Same thing for Halloween and going into Friday. Sharon?
Love it. Nice and warm, especially for Halloween. Thanks, Audrey. Well, that's your news block for now. I'm Sharon Crowley. Thanks so much for joining us. Tune in to the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on Fox Local for all the day's news as it develops, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.